everybody? Welcome back to KTM Sports Nation. I am so excited to be back. It has been a while. It's been about a month. I'm so excited to be back. I just want to welcome all my viewers for joining on YouTube and TikTok. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you guys. I'm so excited to be back. It is an exciting week for sports. We have the NBA playoffs. Obviously, it's been going on for the last couple of weeks. We have the Netflix MVP promotions card, which I'm very excited about. With Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, Nate Diaz, Mike Perry, Francis Ngannou, and Philip Lenz. It's a stack. That's a stack card. It's three of the greatest UFC fighters, mixed martial artists in the history of mixed martial arts. I mean, with Ronda Rousey, Nate Diaz, and Francis Ngannou, and Mike Perry has his own name of himself in bare knuckle boxing. So I'm excited about that. But the NBA playoffs, like I said, it's been crazy playoffs so far. Oklahoma City looks unstoppable right now. They're 8-0 in the NBA playoffs. They look like the absolute best team in the league. Again, I mean, they look like they could definitely go to the NBA finals. I hope they don't, because right now my team is looking pretty good themselves too. The New York Knicks were 8-2 in the postseason. This is probably the best start I've seen in my life when it comes to New York Knicks in the playoffs. I mean, I've never seen the Knicks play so good in this postseason. They look destined to come out of the East. The good thing is Detroit, the number one seed, is down 3-2 to Cleveland, and Game 6 is tonight in Cleveland. So Cleveland can close the door, which I'm rooting for. I'm hoping Cleveland closes the door on Detroit and beats them, because, the Knicks won't have to worry about playing against Detroit, and they'll have home court in the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Knicks, they look unbelievable right now. They look like the best team in the East. I mean, they're just totally dominating teams by winning multiple playoff games by 20-plus points, 30-plus points. The Knicks look unbelievable right now. But Detroit could change that. They have one of the best players in the NBA, Cade Cunningham. He's an absolute stud, and he could definitely get a road victory in Cleveland. So, I mean, and, also San Antonio is playing against Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. Minnesota's down 3-2. I believe that game is in Minnesota tonight. I think that game is in Minnesota tonight. I'm not, yes, Minnesota. So, I mean, if San Antonio wins tonight, that series is over, and it will be Oklahoma City Thunder versus the San Antonio Spurs, which, rightfully so, they are the two best teams in the Western Conference, in the Western Conference easily. I mean, San Antonio and the Thunder, they're right 1-2. I mean, they're two of the best teams in the league to begin. I mean, Thunder was 64-18, and the Spurs was 62-20. I mean, 1-2. These are the two best teams in the Western Conference. They're playing against each other. I'm excited to see that matchup, if it was to happen. But I kind of want to see, a part of me wants to see Minnesota advance and beat San Antonio. I mean, we'll see. You never know. I mean, I think it's going to take a miracle for Minnesota to win back-to-back games against San Antonio, especially because Victor Wembanyama is so good. The guy is an absolute stud. He's definitely in the MVP conversation between him and Shai. I think Shai Alexander is definitely I think Shai is the MVP. I mean, Victor Wembanyama has had an unbelievable season. I just think Shai is, number one seed again, Western Conference Finals. He has the stats. I just think the one thing I don't like about him, he just flops way too much. I think he gets a little bit too much credit too. I know he's a great player, but I think people overhype him a little too much. Thank you for joining on TikTok. Appreciate you guys joining on TikTok still. Share the live. Let's get the viewership up. But still, like I said, the Thunder, they look like an absolute force right now. Nobody could beat them. They just swept the Lakers. They sent LeBron home. Everybody knows I'm a big LeBron guy, but he can't do it by himself. Luka was out the whole series. Austin Reeves was a ghost for most of the series, besides maybe the last two games. You know, once again, LeBron with the team on his back, you know, with players that aren't really, reliable. I mean, Marcus Smart isn't as reliable as Luka Doncic. Like, you have 35 points per game sitting on the bench. That's a big loss for the Lakers. And when he went down, it's very hard to overcome that loss against the best team in the league, the defending champions, Oklahoma City Thunder. Um, so LeBron outperformed Shy in the series. I mean, this guy's 41 years old and outperforming people in their 20s. It's absolutely insane. Um, I want to talk a little bit about LeBron's future. I don't think he's going to be in the Los Angeles Laker uniform next year. I have a feeling, I mean, he could be back with them, but he's a free agent. He can go anywhere. I think he's going to go back to Cleveland. I think he's going to go back to the Eastern Conference. And, when you think about that Eastern Conference Cleveland Cavalier team, they're a great team as is. You add LeBron back to their team, it's a stacked team. I mean, you have James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and LeBron James in your starting lineup. I mean, that team could go to the NBA championship. LeBron is still a top caliber player. He's still one of the best players in our league. He's just an absolute stud. So, I mean, that would be very interesting for him to go back to Cleveland. I don't really see him going anywhere else. If he was not to stay with the Los Angeles Lakers, he would probably, that would be the only option, I would think. I don't think he would go back to Miami because I think LeBron wants to have a championship run still. I think he wants that fifth ring. I mean, who wouldn't want a fifth ring? I mean, the guy is, to me, he's the greatest basketball player to ever step foot on the court. He's number one in rebounds. Number one in this, he's number one in everything in playoffs. He's the greatest scorer. He's passed first, and he's number one scoring in the whole league, in the history of the league. So, I mean, I would like to see him go back home, to Ohio, Cleveland. So, I mean, I would like to see it happen. But we'll see. I mean, the Lakers just weren't good enough, though. They just didn't have enough pieces to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. So Oklahoma City took care of business, and they brought the brooms out against the Lakers and sent them packing real quick. They're just a completely dominant team over them. They had way more shooters, way more consistent three-point making. The team was just overall better than the Lakers. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think LeBron's going to be a Laker next year. So that's my opinion. I think he's going to be back home with Cleveland. I don't know what's going to happen with Bronny James. Maybe they'll keep him. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think Bronny James will follow LeBron. I mean, it would be cool if he did go back home to his hometown with his father. I just don't know if that's going to happen. I think that we'll see what happens when it comes out. But I think LeBron's going to be a Cavalier next year. And plus, look at all the histories of him dominating the Eastern Conference Finals. What was it, like 8 or 9 straight NBA championship appearances? The guy is absolutely a dominant force in the East. With that team in Cleveland, they could definitely go very far next year if he was to join them. But yeah, like I said, Cleveland's up 3-2 after an amazing Game 5. The series was tied 2-2, and now it's 3-2. After an overtime win, an absolute outstanding performance from Donovan Mitchell. I mean, the guy completely took over in the second half of Game 5. He is an absolute stud. He would be phenomenal with LeBron James and James Harden. I mean, I think Donovan Mitchell and James Harden play amazing together. Plus, James Harden dropped 30 points. James Harden was absolutely sensational in Game 5. 30 points, 8 assists, and rebounds. He came through. And there's a narrative that's always around that James Harden does not come through in the postseason. That's very true. He doesn't come up in the postseason. But this year, I mean, he showed up the last 2 games for Cleveland. They were down 2-1. Now they got a series. They got the series advantage, 3-2, heading back home in Cleveland tonight. I believe that game is at 7 o'clock. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure. 7 o'clock. Yes, Cleveland and Detroit, and 9:30 is San Antonio, Minnesota. So, I'm rooting for Cleveland for the Knicks case. So I mean, I hope that Cleveland wins. So for the Knicks, because the Knicks get home court, Cleveland wins because Detroit's the number 1 seed, and Detroit's always given Knicks the problem in the regular season. They didn't beat them one time in the regular season, so I rather them beat and play a team that they've had success against in the postseason. Um, I mean, I rather them play Cleveland easy. It'd be way easier for them. I think. I mean, it's not going to be super easy. Don't get me wrong. It's the playoffs. You got to perform. Um, but I think the Knicks are better off, and they'll have home court. Like I said, they'll have the home fan base there. I mean, the first two games, our Garden is going to be absolutely rocking at MSG. I mean, there's no place like Madison Square Garden. I've been to a playoff Knick game. There's nothing like it. The atmosphere is unbelievable. It's New York. I mean, there's no place like New York. The best place, the best city in the world. Um, you know, the best arena in the world is MSG. There's nothing that compares to Madison Square Garden. So if the Knicks, one more step before the NBA championship, I believe this is the year for the Knicks. It's now or never, I think, in a way, because this is a prime chance for them to go and win that championship. Finally, after like 55, 60 years, it was like the early 70s when the Knicks last won a championship. It's time. Jalen Brunson is the man. That guy is an absolute sniper. That guy is an absolute, he's the captain of the team. He's unreal. And Karl Anthony Towns does what he does. OG, Josh Hart, these guys play with all they can and what's ever left in the tank. They just come and bring it every single game. So I'm excited to see what the Knicks could do. I just hope Cleveland closes it out tonight, because I really don't want to play Detroit. I'd rather play Cleveland, but if it goes to a game 7, I mean, it's anybody's game, but I think it'll be more leaning towards Detroit going back home for game 7. Because Cleveland has it now in their hands to win the series, going back home to their crowd. So I mean, we'll see what happens when it comes to that. The only way the Minnesota Timberwolves win tonight, I think Anthony Edwards has got to go absolutely off. I think he's gonna have to really show how great he is. I think Anthony Edwards is unbelievable. He's just an absolute stud. The guy could shoot. The guy could drive to the basket. He could dunk on you easily. The guy is an absolute stud. He's Ant-Man for a reason. He's just an absolute phenomenal basketball player. So I'm hoping that Minnesota gets the job done. But Wembanyama could easily close the series out at home. I mean, the guy is an absolute monster. Like I said, he is an MVP candidate with Shai Alexander. I mean, these guys are the two best players in basketball this year. The other candidate that I could consider that was also an MVP was Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic was easily, an MVP candidate until, he got hurt. And, that was his case was done after that. But the thing with Jalen Brunson, like I said about the Knicks, he has that clutch gene. He's just an absolute beast when it comes to the game on the line. And when you need a shot the most, Jalen Brunson comes up clutch. I mean, I believe if Jalen Brunson wins, I don't think it's even an argument. If Jalen Brunson wins a championship this year with the Knicks, I think he's the best Knick of all time. I love Carmelo Anthony, but he's never won a championship. He's my favorite. Melo was unreal. I love Carmelo. But if Jalen Brunson brings a championship to New York, I believe he is the best Knick to ever play for the New York Knicks, my opinion. Stephen A. Smith said it on First Take the other day. They had this question. They were asking, do you believe Jalen Brunson is the greatest Knick to ever play for this team? And he said the same thing. I just think if he wins a championship, I don't know how you don't consider him the best Knick of all time. Melo didn't win a championship. Stoudemire. There's so many other players that played for the Knicks, that over the 55, 60 years that didn't bring it. Patrick Ewing, John Starks. They went to the finals, but they never won it. If Jalen Brunson can bring the Knicks to the NBA championship, win a championship for New York, there's no debate. He's the best Knick of all time, in my opinion. and his game is incredible. I think that also supports his case. The guy could drive. The guy could pull up for mid range. He could shoot the three. He could lay it in. He could cross over. He could do anything. He could pass. He makes his teammates better around him. So I'm excited to see what happens. The Garden's going to be rocking if the Knicks are home for next round in the Eastern Conference Finals. So let's go Cleveland. I hope Cleveland takes it. It's going to be a good game though tonight. I mean, they're both great teams, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I hope that I hope they win. I hope Cleveland wins tonight, but we'll see. So starting tonight, 7:15 on Apple TV, we have the New York Yankees versus the New York Mets. 3-game series in Citi Field, Queens, the Mets Stadium, unfortunately. I mean, I hate the Mets, but it is what it is. Um, they're having a terrible season, which I don't feel bad about. I can't stand them. But they're the worst team in their division, 18-25, and the Yankees are one of the third or fourth best team in the league, 27-16. But now it's a Subway Series. Now it's a rivalry. Now we have the Mets and the Yankees now coming up tonight at 7:15. Aaron Judge has been sensational. Ben Rice has been amazing. It's probably the best 1-2 combo in Major League Baseball this year. I believe the Yankees look really good. I mean, they've been a little slumped the last 3 or 4 games, but it happens every year with them. Just a matter when it comes down to when it gets close to the end of the season. But I'm looking forward to tonight. I mean, it's the Yankees and the Mets. Hope the Yankees sweep the Mets. There's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of Yankee fans there, so we'll see what happens. Aaron Judge has just been absolutely sensational once again for the Yankees. I believe he's an MVP candidate again. Can you imagine if this guy wins a third MVP in a row? The guy is just an absolute monster. He's hitting 268, which is average for him. I mean, the guy hits 300 almost every year. So he's hitting 268, 16 home runs, 30 RBIs. I mean, he's just a stud. The guy is an absolute stud. It's a shame. It really is a shame that he hasn't won a World Series yet. I hope he wins one eventually with the Yankees, but I think the problem with the Yankees has been, has been the pitching a lot of the time. The hitting's been, obviously another problem in the clutch and stuff. But you know what I mean? The Yankees pitching looks phenomenal this year. I mean, they have the best ERA as a team in all of Major League Baseball. Max Fried, I was a little worried the other night because he got pulled last game because elbow tightness. I was praying it wasn't Tommy John. Because if it's Tommy John, he's done for the season, but said it was fine. And they're calling it a bone bruise as of right now. So that's good. That's good news. He's on the 15-day DL, so he's going to be on the bench for a little bit. But Garrett Cole will be back soon. Rodon and Cam Slitler and all these Will Warren has been great. The Yankees pitching has been absolutely sensational this year. I mean, it's been a long time since I've said the starting pitching has been this good. I mean, I could say it's probably been the best. This is the best pitching we've had since we've won the World Series in 2009. I don't remember the last time the Yankees were this good pitching wise. They've just been absolutely sensational. Cam Slitler is a 1.35 ERA. As of right now, if Ohtani does not win it, in the National League, it'll be Cy Young, it'll be Ohtani. In the American League, it'll be Cam Slitler. I mean, 1.35 ERA is insane. I mean, nobody's hitting against this guy. He's just that good. Will Warren has the most strikeouts on the Yankees, though. 59 strikeouts, and Bednar 10 saves. Cam Slitler has the most wins. So the Yankees look really good with their pitching this year. It's been a very long time since I've seen their pitching this dominant. I would say, if the pitching is stays like this, we have a good chance to make it deep. It's just a matter if the hitting becomes consistent and stays consistent. Everybody else has got to do what they have to do. I'm I don't know. Volpe just came back, and I don't know. I just every time I see that guy, I just don't know if he's gonna. I just don't. I don't know if he'll be back next year because um, he's just so. The last year it just wasn't good. I mean, he just came back last game. He was over 3 with a strikeout. Um, I just have the feeling about Caballero. He's just so much better as a shortstop for us this year. I mean, it's a shame that he just got hurt. This uh, is one of I think it was his middle finger sliding into first base. Um, be great, you know, if Volpe was phenomenal and back to what he was around like the World Series time. But last year he was so bad, and it turned me off so bad. When it comes to watching him play for us, in a shortstop for the Yankees is such a big position. Um, it's when you think of Derek Jeter, the greatest Yankee of in my opinion, the greatest Yankee besides Mickey Mantle ever, Babe Ruth. There's so many great Yankees, but my favorite is Derek Jeter, the captain. And it doesn't matter who plays there, but when you play shortstop for the New York Yankees, you're always going to have that shadow of, Derek Jeter always, lingering over you at that position. So, I mean, we'll see when it comes to that. I hope Caballero gets healthy and comes back. I mean, I always liked him. He's just been always a great player for us. This year he's been phenomenal for us. I think he's earned his right to be the starting shortstop long term. I hope he gets healthy quick. I mean, it's not a serious injury; it's just the finger. So I'm hoping he comes back. Um, Soto just got back for the Mets after a little bit of a you know out. He was out for a little bit with the hamstring injury, running around the bases and pulled his hamstring. Um, the Mets are a disaster though. They're like the worst team in the. I think they're the worst team in baseball this year. 18-25. Oh, actually no. They're tied with the Red Sox. The Red Sox and the Mets, the two worst teams. One of the two worst teams in baseball. Oh, I love it. Oh, the two rivalries. The one across the street and the one just the most hated rivalry. One of the most hated rivalries in baseball. I mean, you got the Yankees and the Red Sox being the worst team in the division. I love it. Um, but the Tampa Bay Rays have been a major problem for this year. They've just been unbelievable. 28-14. The Yankees are two games back behind them because the Yankees were in a little bit of a slump. 8-2 in their last 10. So the Tampa Bay Rays, they look like they're the only team that could really put up a fight this year in the division. The Blue Jays, they look terrible. 19-24. It's second to last, and one of the worst teams in baseball as of right now. I think there's only 4 or 5 teams in baseball that are over 500. It's the Rays, the Yankees, the Guardians, the White Sox, and the Athletics. That's it. Nobody else is above 500. The whole American League is absolutely in shambles and just trash. The National League Central is unbelievable this year, man. It's the best division in baseball. Everybody's over 500. Cubs, Brewers, Cardinals, Pirates, and Reds. Everybody's over 500 and fighting for that first, place. Thanks for joining on TikTok. Share it. Appreciate you guys joining on TikTok. But like I was saying, it's the best. It's the best division in baseball. I mean, the Cubs. Look how close the records are: 28-16, 24-17, 25-18, 24-20, 23-21. I mean, they're all within almost a game of each other. Each team. It's crazy. I mean, Brewers and Cardinals are both tied for 2.5 games back of the Cubs. Anybody could win that division this year. The Pirates look like they're a good team this year. let's see what happens when it comes to Paul Skeens and if he wants to stay. I don't know if he's going to stay a Pirate. He's too good. Um, but if the Pirates win the division, I mean, that would be insane because that division is absolutely the best in baseball. I mean, everybody's over 500. Like I said, it's just unbelievable. It's nice to see that the Yankees are better than the Dodgers right now. I mean, it's only one game, but the Dodgers are not better than the Yankees as of right now, but they are the best team in the division. Um, as always, the last couple of years, it's always been between the Dodgers and the Padres for the NL West. So, I mean, we'll see when it comes to that. Um, so I hope that, I actually hope the Padres beat the Dodgers and win the division. Um, so we'll see what happens when it comes to that. The Braves best team in baseball this year. I mean, I feel like this is like the 96 year like all over again. The Braves when the Yankees won the World Series, their first World Series of that great 90s run, winning the world's first World Series in 96 over the Braves. The Braves are the best team in baseball this year, 30 and 14. Crazy. Second best team in baseball is the Rays, and it's the Yankees, Dodgers. You know, it's just been a crazy year when it comes to baseball so far. A lot of teams that you wouldn't expect to be in the position that they're in, because, I look at the Rays. I didn't think they would be in the position they're in. I think they would be in total rebuild mode. But I guess you never say never about a certain franchise when they're ready to win. I mean, when you have the talent, I guess we'll see. Um, but the better franchise in New York this year by far is the Yankees. The Mets are trash. Um, I hope that the Yankees sweep the Mets. Um, everybody's gonna have the spotlight on Judge and Soto just because of the history and you know him betraying the Yankees. Still, he's a traitor. He'll always be a traitor. I can almost guarantee right now he would want to be a Yankee right now and move back because he's probably regretting all of it now. Him being a Met and them struggling. I know he got the bag with the money and everything, and the suite and the family and everything. But was it really worth it if you're losing? I mean, the guy's probably going to be a billionaire by the end of his career. He's getting 800 plus million, and that's not even including sponsors. I mean, 800 million alone just for his baseball contract. Just imagine all the sponsorship and everything else he's going to have by the time his career's over. He's going to be a billionaire. It's insane how much money this guy get, and he doesn't even deserve. Nobody deserves that amount of money. It's crazy what these guys get in baseball. But first of all, the pride came out when he first signed with the Mets. When somebody asked him on ESPN, I forgot who it was, who is the greatest hitter in the history of baseball? You know what he said? He said me. Oh my gosh. Why would you say me? That is the most prideful thing you could say because he isn't the best hitter in baseball. He's great, don't get me wrong, but he ain't the best hitter in baseball. I mean, geez. I mean, talk about pride. But yet again, it's coming to bite him in the butt because now the team absolutely sucks. The Mets suck. The worst team in the division, and I love it. They're just trash. One of the worst teams in baseball. So, like I said, we'll see when it comes to that. But tomorrow night, I'm looking forward to this. Los Angeles, California. We have Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano as the main event of MVP promotions / Netflix. Like I said, Jake Paul was a big part of this whole thing, promoting and bringing all these fighters. I got to give him the credit. Besides him, ruining boxing in a way, bringing these amazing UFC fighters for this event. I'm excited to see. I'm very excited to see this fights tomorrow. Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry, and Francis Ngannou versus Philip Lins. Those are three of the best UFC fighters who ever lived. I mean, I love the UFC. I love fighting. I just seeing all three of these people and Gina Carano, Mike Perry. I mean, they deserve their flowers too. But like three of the best and well-known fighters on one card. I mean, this is going to be the biggest event and the biggest streaming fight on anything on Netflix ever. Um, Easily. I don't think anything is going to come close to this. I think it's going to blow Jake Paul and Mike Tyson out of the water. I mean, it's sad even bringing that up. I mean, what a disgrace that fight was. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I mean, that was such a joke. I mean, Tyson didn't even throw one punch, but it gets me aggravated thinking about it because I love Mike Tyson, and you know him settling for the money instead of giving the fans a fight. It just was terrible. But anyways, this is going to be mixed martial arts. Somebody's either getting knocked out, submitted. There's no. It might come down to the judges, but I highly doubt it. I think Ronda Rousey puts Gina Carano in an armbar and ends this fight very quickly. Nate Diaz, I think Nate Diaz is going to submit Mike Perry. See, if this was boxing, which it is boxing still in a way because it's mixed martial arts, it includes boxing, includes all that, knocking people out. But I think if Nate Diaz takes Mike Perry to the ground, I think Mike Perry's done because Nate Diaz is one of the best on the ground submission artists there ever was in the UFC. That's where he lives. He's just an unbelievable submission artist. I mean, he pulled off the greatest upset in the. I gotta give him the credit. He pulled off the greatest upset in the history of the UFC when he submitted Conor McGregor. At UFC 199, it was absolutely I couldn't believe it. Nobody expected Nate Diaz to do that. It was the biggest win of his life, and that's where he is. That's why he is where he is now. Because he won against the biggest star in the history of mixed martial arts in the UFC of all time, Conor McGregor. So, he could do that again against Mike Perry. I mean, he's done it his whole career. Don't get me wrong. He's done it his whole career, but I'm just saying that was the biggest moment of his career, and this is why he's as big as he is now because he won that fight, and that really put him on the map of mixed martial arts. But Nate Diaz, I think, is going to submit Mike Perry. I think if Mike Perry has him on, stands up with him, I mean, Mike Perry could definitely win. He has the knockout power. The guy absolutely brutalizes people. I mean, the guy fights bare knuckle. If you guys never heard of Bare Knuckle FC, it's owned by David Feldman, and the co-owner is actually Conor McGregor. It's where it's bare knuckle. I mean, just think of it, bare knuckle. I mean, this guy is an absolute monster. Just look it up, Mike Perry, bare knuckle fighting. He is an absolute monster. I mean, he's been a champion in bare knuckle after he was with the UFC, and he left the UFC and moved on, and now is in the bare knuckle and won multiple championships, knocked many people out. The guy's a stud. I could definitely see him beating Nate Diaz stand up because he has the knockout power. But I want to see Nate Diaz win. I want to see Ronda win. I believe they both win by submission. I think Ronda wins first round. I don't think Gina Carano is going to survive very long or Ronda Rousey, especially on the ground because she's just so amazing with their wrestling. I mean, she's one of the best. She's a champion, one of the best UFC fighters who ever lived. I think Nate Diaz wins on the ground. If it gets to that and he submits him. Mike Perry, I think Mike Perry wins if it stands up, though, because he's just amazing knockout artist. Like I said, he's just a great boxer. I mean, that's what he does. He's bare knuckle. He's just one of the best at it. But this the interesting one is I think Francis Ngannou knocks out Philip Lins in the first round. I think he's just too good, Francis Ngannou, especially mixed martial arts. He's a great knockout guy, but I just think he's just a better mixed martial artist than Philip Lins. I mean, if Philip Lins beats Francis Ngannou, that would be one of the biggest upsets, I think, in mixed martial arts. Seeing him beat him, I think he's a very heavy underdog against Francis Ngannou. I think that would be a huge upset if Francis loses, but I don't think he loses tomorrow. I'm looking up the betting odds right now for this fight. I think so the betting odds for Francis Ngannou is overwhelming favorite over Philip Lins to Saturday night. Negative 1350 to negative 2500. That is extremely highly favorite of him winning the fight. I believe he wins by knockout, like I said. And Lins is a heavy underdog, plus 750 to plus 1,500. So the guy is he's a big underdog. I don't see how this guy beats him. Um, they're saying Lins by submission is plus 3,500. I mean, that's big money if you're a betting man. I mean, that's big money if he submits him. If Francis Ngannou is by knockout is negative 500 by either KO, TKO, disqualification. He's negative 500 in that victory. Um, Under 1.5 rounds is priced at negative 215. That's if it's less than a round or a little bit over a round. But like I said, the money line for Francis Ngannou is negative 2,000 to negative 2,500. That is a huge favorite. I believe that's what's going to happen. I don't think Lins is going to beat Ngannou. I think Ngannou knocks him out in the first round. He's the best knockout, one of the best knockout artists in the history of mixed martial arts. I think he wins by knockout very quickly. Francis Ngannou is just a beast. Guy's a force of nature. I want to see Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury still. I think they deserve another rematch in boxing. I think that fight was absolutely rigged. I think Ngannou beat Tyson Fury especially when he knocked him down. I want to see that fight again, but I want to see Francis Ngannou versus John Jones. And the interesting part is that the commentators, part of the crew of this card is John Jones. So can you imagine if Francis Ngannou, and supposedly John Jones is retired from the UFC? I mean, I don't know. He's retired. He's not retired. There's so many different speculation, rumors. There's beef, a lot of beef between Dana and John Jones, especially with the whole Aspinall thing and him not showing up and fighting in the heavyweight division of the UFC. Seeing Francis Ngannou versus John Jones, that would be one of the biggest fights ever. The greatest mixed martial artist who has ever lived, John Jones, American. He's just the greatest mixed martial artist who ever lived. John Jones is the GOAT. Undefeated, greatest of all time, versus Francis Ngannou, one of the greatest and most dangerous knockout artists and just one of the best UFC fighters there ever was. He's just an absolute stud. So, I mean, we'll see what happens when it comes to that. That would be great. That would be awesome if they did that fight next. I guess we'll see. We will see when it comes to that. I'm excited for Saturday. I'm excited for that. We'll see. I'm excited for tomorrow night. It's going to be exciting. Ronda Rousey. I hope she wins. I hope Nate Diaz wins. I hope Francis Ngannou wins. The only thing I don't like about this whole Ronda Rousey fight thing is that she's not fighting again after this. It's a waste in a way, because why would you just come back just to fight Gina Carano? I know you want to have children. I know she said she wants to have more kids, and she does. That's another reason why. And she just wanted to fight Gina Carano, and this fight has been planned for years, for many, many years. It just never happened because of contracts and UFC talks and other stuff. It just didn't come to fruition. It just didn't happen. So I mean, this is a one and done for Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. I don't think they're fighting anybody else after this. So I mean, just give the people an amazing fight, I guess. I always like Ronda Rousey. I mean, she talks a lot of crap about the UFC that she shouldn't say. I mean, she says that she would be great even if it wasn't for the UFC. I mean, I believe that's bull crap, because I think without the UFC, she wouldn't be anybody. That's my opinion. You know, the UFC has built so many stars, and just the trash on the UFC. That's the one thing I have to say about her is like, you why are you trashing an organization that helped build you to greatness? I mean, she says she is greatness, but the reason why you're great is because you were a part of the UFC. You were part of the best organization in the history of fighting. My opinion. There's nothing that even comes close to the UFC. It's the greatest fighting organization ever. And Dana White has always been good to you. He's always been a great partner with you and owner of the organization. Always treated you fairly. I mean, you might not have got exactly what you wanted, but he's always been great for you. So for you to say that, the UFC sucks and that nobody should go to it and everybody should move on and go to Netflix and MVP, I mean, you should just shut your mouth when it comes to that stuff. I mean, just shut up. The UFC is great. Just be grateful what they did for you, and because you're just in a way it's you're turning a lot of people off, to an organization that they really were the reason why you are where you are. I mean, just because you got you're upset because you lost against Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes. I mean, I believe that was a major part of why she's trash in the UFC over the years, and never went back after such a long layoff. It's been 10 years since Ronda Rousey has fought in the octagon. I think it was 2016, 2017. It's been a long time, so it's 2026 now, and she's 40, 41. I mean, I just do what you have to do. Just win your fight, retire, be with your family. You're still one of my favorites, but don't trash the UFC. The UFC is the best. I mean, like I said, you wouldn't be anything without them because, they're the best organization in fighting. I mean, it's number one. It's just the best. I mean, they have two of the best fighters in the world, my opinion. Alex Pereira and Ilya Depoirier, and I'm looking forward to the White House event. That's going to be absolutely sensational. I actually won in a raffle to go to the White House. Well, to the watch party near the White House, across the street from the White House, to go and see this event. It's just gonna be awesome to see that. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, you get to see Ilya Depoirier versus Justin Gaethje and Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane. I mean, Ilya Depoirier is one of my favorite fighters. He's the best, my opinion, the number one pound for pound fighter in the UFC. I have him over Islam. I mean, I know Islam Makhachev is great, but I think Ilya Depoirier for me, I just don't like those guys. They're so boring to watch. They're great. Don't get me wrong. Islam can knock you out, and he can wrestle. I just like Ilya Depoirier way more. He's way more exciting. I just like him better as a fighter. I always did. And ever since the Khabib and Conor thing, I just never was a fan of the Russians. I never liked them because all they do is wrestle. I mean, who remembers when Conor says, let's wrestle," because that's all they do. All they do is wrestle. I mean, I'm tired of the wrestling. I mean, they're not exciting. They're boring to watch. I want them to lose. I was so glad when Sean Strickland beat Khamzat Chimaev the other night, Saturday. That was great. I loved it. I was like the best. So I'm happy Sean Strickland. The guy's a savage. He just stood his ground and totally did what he had to do against Khamzat. So he's the middleweight champion, and I'm excited to see who he fights next. The middleweight division needs a lot of work though because there's not that many exciting fighters anymore in that division. So we'll see what happens when it comes to Sean Strickland and who he's defending his title against next. But like I said, don't trash the UFC because, they're the reason why you were so popular and great because you're not getting the notoriety or anything else. So just be grateful for what they did for you. I mean, I understand you left the organization, but to trash them the way you've been trashing them, on Netflix, MVP. Um, I don't agree with that. I mean, she's still one of my favorite fighters. You know, she's one of the best female fighters who ever lived, my opinion. Amanda Nunes is the GOAT for me when it comes to greatest mixed martial artists in the history of female fighting. She's just the best, in my opinion. Two-time division champion, Amanda Nunes. Um, I hope she fights Kayla Harrison soon. I want to see that fight eventually. Um, I think, a little bit off topic. The reason why I think the reason why they didn't announce the Conor McGregor return, because Ariel Helwani, he's very prominent in when it comes, the UFC and just talking about mixed martial arts. Um, he said that it's on the goal line that Conor McGregor and Max Holloway are going to be announced soon. And he's almost guaranteed and certain that it's going to be announced very soon. I would think that tomorrow night during either the co-main event or the main event, I think they're going to announce just to go back at Ronda Rousey and these guys that are now done with the UFC and have trashed him. I mean, Nate Diaz loves the UFC. He didn't trash them one bit. He still considers himself a UFC fighter. This is just like a one-off fight. I have to say, it's pretty cool, though. You could fight whenever you want, and you can leave whenever you want. The UFC, you have to fight under a contract, under a certain amount of fights, and that is what it is. But it's the best. The UFC is the best. I mean, I wouldn't complain. I mean, it's just the best organization there is. I mean, MVP will never be the UFC. I'm sorry, it will never be the UFC. I'm excited for the fights tomorrow, though. Still, like I said, but I think the UFC is planning on announcing his return tomorrow night during this card. To steal away the spotlight from this card. I think Conor McGregor will be announced tomorrow. His return will be announced tomorrow. Um, I just have that feeling, especially with Ariel being 100% certain in a way about him returning, and Max Holloway constantly bringing him Conor McGregor. I think that's the opponent he's going to face. I mean, that's going to be one of the biggest fights in the history of the UFC. I mean, it's on the biggest event for the UFC. Throughout the year, it's the biggest event the UFC has, International Fight Week, which is, it's going to be July 11th. July 11th is International Fight Week. I mean, we have the rising star and, the debut of Gable Stevenson. I'm excited to see him fight for the first time. Olympic gold winner. He's been training with John Jones, so I'm excited to see that. I think International Fight Week is planning to be one of the best cards. I have to check to see who else is on that card, but Gable Stevenson is making his debut as a UFC fighter for the UFC, so I'm excited to see that. I'm just pulling up who is fighting for International Fight Week. I'm excited. I hope Conor McGregor fights on it. We'll see. It's gonna be something. Oh, geez, how could I forget? Paddy Pimblett versus Benoit Saint Denis. What a match. What a match. One of the best matches in mixed martial arts, my opinion, because Benoit Saint Denis is an absolute killer. French absolute monster. He's just a knockout artist. And Paddy Pimblett's coming off a big loss to Justin Gaethje. I mean, Paddy Pimblett I got to give him the credit. The guy hanged in there against Justin Gaethje. He was getting absolutely rocked, January when they fought the first fight for Paramount Plus. I mean, he was just taking blow after blow, and he didn't go down. So you got to give Paddy Pimblett the credit. He deserves it. He was a stud in that fight. Just hanging on. Just not getting knocked out. His chin is is incredibly strong because a lot of people say that Justin Gaethje is the hardest puncher in the UFC, and for him not to get knocked out by him after so many times getting punched in the face and thinking when I'm watching the fight that he's done any minute to survive as long as he did, he deserves the credit. Absolutely warrior. Whether he won or lost the fight, he lost obviously, but doesn't matter the result. He was an absolute stud, staying up. I mean, the guy was getting punched like crazy. His face was destroyed in that fight against Justin Gaethje. But like I said, Paddy Pimblett is an exciting fighter. I like Paddy Pimblett, but I like Ilya Depore more. I want to see that fight eventually. Ilya Depore versus Paddy Pimblett. I want Ilya to beat him. But Paddy Pimblett is a star. All the fans love him. He does this. Everybody loves this. It's his thing. He just has a trend with the fans in the UFC. He's a star in the fans. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Paddy Pimblett against Benoit Saint Denis, and you got Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Bautista. That's another good fight, but like I said, card's not finalized fully yet, and the rumored main event right now, because they did not announce the main event, is Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. I mean, how many fights does Conor McGregor have had at Las Vegas? It's the best besides Madison Square Garden. It is the best place to have, you know, fights. I mean, the Sphere is sick. When they did that, at the Sphere, that was amazing. I want them to do that again. That was so cool to see that all the fighters walking out in the Sphere. So eventually, I think they'll do that again. But T-Mobile Arena, Conor McGregor's probably fought there 6 or 7 times. So I think he's gonna be the main event. I think they're gonna announce it tomorrow. Steal Away, the Spotlight from Netflix is amazing card. I think it's a great card still. Amazing card tomorrow night. I think it'll be the co-main or main event that UFC is gonna announce it and try to steal away the stardom from the from MVP and Netflix and Jake Paul and the promotion that he's underneath. Does anybody have any questions on TikTok? Thank you guys for joining. Share the video, please. Share the live. Thank you for joining on YouTube. Any questions about the Knicks? And are they serious contenders for the NBA championship? Because I think this is the best shot in a very long time for them to win a championship. They look great. Will Ronda Rousey submit Gina Carano, or will Gina Carano pull off the upset and beat Ronda Rousey after not winning and not competing since 2009? 2009, 17 years. So that would be an absolute. To me, it's an upset if Gina Carano wins, and because Ronda Rousey's a better fighter. Will Nate Diaz submit Mike Perry, or will Mike Perry knock out Nate Diaz? Because I think it's the way. That's the only way of victory of one of those guys winning. Will Mike Perry knock him out, or will Nate Diaz choke him or submit him in any type of way? And will Francis Ngannou knock out Philip Lins tomorrow? The Brazilian. I believe if Philip Lins wins, I think he will be one of the biggest upsets in mixed martial arts history for sure. Because Francis Ngannou is an absolute monster, first of all, and Francis Ngannou is one of the best mixed martial artists the UFC has ever had. He is a champion. He was the heavyweight champion, and he's just one of the best. But I believe a KO by Francis Ngannou is very likely. So, which fight are you most excited for? Ronda and Gina, Nate and Mike Perry, Francis Ngannou, or in Philip Lins? Do you believe OKC will win the title, or San Antonio spoils it, or Minnesota spoils it? In the Western Conference Finals, will the Knicks make the finals? Will the Yankees win the series this weekend against the New York Mets? Will Nate Diaz get stopped, or will Nate Diaz make return, to UFC and mixed martial arts with the win over Mike Perry? Or will Francis Ngannou easily stop Philip Lins? Ronda Rousey comeback fails. I mean, if Gina Carano wins, that would be crazy, and I think they would have to do it a second time, because I don't know if Ronda Rousey's going to go out with the loss, but it would definitely be a huge upset if Gina Carano wins. So tell me what you guys think. I mean, it's. I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I appreciate you guys for joining. I'm excited to be back on. It's been a while. There's a lot of stuff going on in sports when it comes to basketball, when it comes to you know, baseball, when it comes to, just fighting. I mean, the next couple of months is just stacked when it comes to UFC and mixed martial arts. Like I said, tomorrow night, Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, Philip Lins Ngannou, Mike Perry, Nate Diaz, and then June you have the White House. You got Ilya Poirier versus Justin Gaethje, Francis Ngannou. I'm sorry, Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane. And then July you got International Fight Week, possibly the return of Conor McGregor against Max Holloway. Paddy Pimblett and Spain Juan Saint Denis is a great fight too. August, it looks like we're having Ian Gary versus Islam Makhachev or Morales. Morales might fight Islam Makhachev. We'll see. So it's absolutely stacked consistently with absolute amazing fights every month of the summer this year so far. I'm excited when it comes to mixed martial arts. I'm excited for the Knicks. Hopefully they make it to the championship. First they got to get past whoever they first in the East. I hope they have home court. I hope Cleveland wins. We'll see what happens when it comes to that. I hope Cleveland gets the job done, so we'll see what happens. But like I said, thank you guys for joining. And, I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. I'm excited to see what happens with Cleveland and Detroit. And will Minnesota extend to a Game 7 in San Antonio tonight with a win, to tie the series? And, will LeBron be a Laker next year? I don't know. I don't know if he'll be a Laker next year. I think he's going to be a Cavalier for some reason. I just don't think he has enough support and enough convincing to stay there. I think he'll be back home next year. But I just want to thank you guys for joining. And, I'm looking forward to another episode of KTM Sports Nation. Appreciate the support. Please share the live on TikTok. Share the live. Subscribe on YouTube. And we'll see you guys very soon. Have a great night and enjoy your weekend.